80-year-old grandfather. He's retired in Florida. In 1934, he was a 14-year-old boy. He came to opening day that year with his dad and his grandfather and sat in these seats on day one, the year they were brand new. So then you take my grandparents, my parents, myself, my wife and I have a 2-year-old. That makes 6 generations of my family that have sat in these exact same seats, rooting for the same team that I root for today, and booing all the same teams that they booed back then too. I think that's special. The last thing that Yawkey did, this is what we're most famous for over here, our giant left field wall. The reason I took you up that ramp today is so when you came up the ramp, you could see the green grass and then the monster right in front of you. You know it today as the Green Monster, 37 feet, 2 inches tall, 231 feet from left to right. Exactly the same dimensions the day it went up back in 1934. It was not painted green though until 1947. Prior to that, it was covered in black and white advertising. Batters at home plate were having a tough time picking up a white baseball coming out of a black and white background. So they asked to have the wall painted. You are looking at the shade of green that Tom Yawkey's wife Jean personally chose. She picked this shade of green because according to her, it accurately matches the color of our grass. Maybe she's colorblind? I don't know. The color's caught on just a little more than slightly, by the way. This is the only place in the world you'll find it, though. We own the copyright patent on it. It's known as Monster Green. It's made exclusively for the Boston Red Sox by the California Paint Company, ironically based in Lowell, Massachusetts. So the only way you can buy it is if you're the principal owner or head of grounds for the Boston Red Sox, which will make a gallon of Monster Green paint somewhere north of $1 billion. So good luck with that. You guys have any questions for me before we head up and sit on top of that wall I just told you about? Nothing else? All right. Whichever staircase is closer to you, we're going to go up to the back. We're going to sit in that front of that section of the Green Monster where it says AAA Auto. Follow me, please.
Come, baby.
Nikki, come. Nicholas. Come.
Giant fan. Great, man. Good collar. Huh?
ダイヤのはず。
Walk around this.
I'm going to buy this team. Sit up there.
The green monster, man. Wearing the green monster suits.
Yeah, I need.
I think that would be it.
Alright, everybody, come on in. I'm going to talk facing mostly towards the seats, which are behind me. So welcome to the Green Monster seats, everybody. What do you think of the view from up here? Not too bad, huh? The only way you can get these seats legally at face value, and this section of seating was built in 2003. The only way to get these seats legally at face value is through the Red Sox ticket lottery. The lottery didn't start till 04 though. Here's what happened. In 2003, we built these seats in the winter of 02 into 03. We didn't know how popular they'd be, so we put them on sale for $50 a ticket. And we put them on sale in the middle of the winter. People lined up outside on Lansdowne Street in the cold for 3 days to buy these tickets. We sold out all 269 seats, plus all the standing room. We did so in just 75 minutes for the entire season. The Red Sox thought, oh, maybe we're onto something. So the next year, a ticket lottery was announced. The prices went up by more than double. And the lottery is free to enter. If you win the lottery, you earn the right to purchase up to 4 seats on top of the wall. You can buy 2 seats to 2 games or 4 seats to 1 game. But there's not a single season ticket here up on the entire length of the wall. If the seats you're sitting in right now, if you were here in a couple days for our next home game, would cost you $165 per seat. If you don't want to spend that much money when you win the lottery, the best deal up here on the Monsters, that 4th row where some of you guys are standing leaning against the bar rail there, that's $30 up there. You're still on top of the wall for the game. You just don't get to sit down. My advice to you is this. If you're going to spend that much money on baseball tickets, get here early. The gates open 2 hours before the game, and the only people allowed up here on the Monster deck are the people whose tickets say Green Monster on them. We have almost 40,000 people here every night, but fewer than 400 people here up on top of the wall. So there's security at both ends of the wall, checking every ticket, stamping hands to make sure that anybody that doesn't have a Monster seat doesn't even get to come up here to take a photograph like you guys are doing right now. When the gates open, you run up here with your Green Monster ticket and watch the Red Sox and whoever we're playing that night take batting practice, which between us, I actually think is better than the game itself up here. On average, during BP, a ball flies up here about once every 40 seconds at speeds of around 100 miles per hour. Now, because grown men think they can catch a baseball in one hand while holding their beer in the other, oh yeah, no glove either. We have 4 EMTs that work up here during each and every home game. They take care of the dozens of broken hands, fingers, wrists, and ribs. They do not treat the bruised egos, though. My advice to you is bring a glove or duck. Let the ball hit the concrete wall behind you and pick it up when it stops rolling. Then tell everybody when you got home that you made a one-handed diving catch, because batting practice is not on television, so no one will know the difference. My best example of taking care of yourself up here was the first year these seats were put in 2003. We're playing the Minnesota Twins on a night just like this, just a perfect summer evening here in Boston. First inning, our shortstop, Nomar Garcia-Parra, is at the plate. And Nomar hits a low line drive home run that just got over the top of the wall. You guys down here in the front row can see that when you're seated, not a lot of views above the level of the wall. The fan sitting in his front row seat must have seen this baseball coming. He has a hot dog in one hand, beer in the other, and decides that he's not going to put down either one of them. The ball hit him square in the nose. As expected, his nose is shattered. He's rushed a mile down the street to the nearest hospital, and he's back in his seat by the 4th inning. Around here, we call that a Red Sox fan. Now, after the game's over, Nomar comes up here himself to inspect the damage, autographs the baseball, poses for some photos. That seems like enough.